What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for watching. A company called Suparee reached out to me with their Hyper5 lights to do a video and a review on this product. So let's unbox it and get to it. So for those of us that had never heard of Suparee before, what I found is they're a Japanese company started about 15 years ago. In 2023, they moved their headquarters to Rowland Heights, California, and they do all their R&D and manufacturing in-house. So from the start of it to the finish is done all right there and shipped from California. Upon first glance, I'm looking at this package and they did a very good job of wrapping it, securing it, and making it so that it got to me in one piece. So, great job right off the get-go, Suparee, on your packaging. So let's go ahead and cut into this and see what we got. Look at there, mounting brackets. That's very cool. However, that's not where we're going to be mounting this. I went ahead and bought some mounting brackets because I really have one spot to put these. And they're going to attach to this bully bar here and here. I've already got those installed there. Yes, I could have taken them off and installed them there, but these are significantly bigger than these rigid lights. So with a 5-inch light, it's just for my taste, they're a little bit big for that spot, but they should fill this spot perfectly right there. Okay, so full disclaimer, Suparee sent me these lights free of cost to do this review. But I said the only way that I would do this review is if I can be 100% honest with the subscribers on my channel. So I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this. Having said that, I didn't even ask for these. They just sent those, assuming maybe that I was going to need to mount these. Very, very cool. We won't be using those today. So I'll set those off to the side. All right, let's see what else we got here. Suparee Hyper5. Right out the get-go, I'm liking what I see. We are seeing features that the light has, including the mounting bracket here. They have some QR codes here. Scan to obtain support, scan to watch installation video. So that's really good. So we got a very nice Suparee light forward sticker. We also have paperwork that shows what should be in the kit, what the specs are, wire connecting instructions, and then QR codes here, again for support, installation instructions, their Facebook, their Instagram, suparee.com, tips, warnings, the whole shebang. Protective foam, amber light covers, just blacked out covers when you're not needing to light them up. So awesome. All right, and here we go. Here is the lights. The Suparee Hyper5. But you also have these two DLR rings that go around the main light. And I know that those can light up as white or amber, which is super cool. Looks like it's got a very robust connector. And then they also send you this wire harness. And it's great. They got the rubber end connectors so that they're waterproof. Also included is a bag of hardware so that we can mount it. So everything that you need, this should be a very simple installation. So let's go ahead and get to doing that. So right now I'm just doing a quick test of these lights. I've got the positive hooked up to the positive terminal, the negative hooked up to the negative terminal. So this cord is hot and good to go. I'm going to plug those lights in and let's see what we got. Oh, yeah, it was. All right, so we should have our amber DRL. Bam. You know, that actually puts out quite a bit of light. All right, so there's your white. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my goodness. You should feel the heat coming off of these. Wow, that is really bright. Holy smokes. You guys, you're not going to be able to tell on camera, obviously, but man, oh man. I can literally feel the heat coming off of these lights all the way out here, this far away. Still feel it right there. That's insane. And another thing that I want to point out is it has side LEDs, which is awesome. Side shooting off of both sides. Very good. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And you can still run your DRLs, your white DRLs, amber DRLs. And then the middle power button actually is the one that it turns the main white light on. That's something else. Okay. So now what I want to try to do is I'm going to go ahead and put those lens covers on, and let's see what they look like with the covers on, with the main light on. Looks very simple. Looks like it just clips right on there. Yeah, very simple. There we go. So there's how you're looking with the lens covers on. Turn those off. There's your white. That kind of looks cool too. Okay, now here's your main. Wow. Holy smokes. Now it does not cover the side. They're still going to fire in white. Man, oh man, guys, that is some bright lights right there. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Look how my beard's glowing. Isn't that ridiculous? That's awesome. Okay, well, I just wanted to test them out real quick. Now let's get back to the install. Okay, you got your main. You got your amber DRLs. You got your white DRLs. But I can't stick this through my firewall. I mean, I would really have to. I'm not excited about trying to get that switch through my firewall. You guys have seen, if you've watched my channel before, you've seen I have to run a coat hanger through and just to get a wire through there, let alone a big button. So, fear not. One of the cool things that I have, as you know, is I have my aux beam system. I'm going to go ahead and cut the ends off of these, strip the wires, and I'm going to run them in and power them with my amber DRL off of my aux beam. It doesn't use very much power. It'll be a good combination, especially if I'm running the DRL off of my light bar and the DRLs off of that. I think it'll look really cool. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get to it. With that, there we go. All right, guys, so I have to use this switch. So yes, I have it hooked up to the aux beam, but when I turn this on, it does generate the power it needs, but you still have to use the switch, okay? So I have to route this inside the cab of the truck. My option is going to have to go down. You see the red and the black wire coming out of the side of that boot there? My latest projects, that's where I have ran that wire, the wire for those is through that boot. I'm going to have to do the same thing in this situation. However, this isn't going to fit through there. So I am going to make the executive decision to cut this wire. I'm going to route it through there on the end that I cut, and then I will reconnect the wire, and it's going to work just fine. So that is my workaround there. I don't know exactly where I'm going to mount it in the cab yet, but I assure you, fear not, I will find a great spot for it. My new friends over at Suparee, I'm a trained professional. I will run this end through the boot and draw the wire through. Feels like it's through. Just like magic. Just like magic. Okay. That's a different kind of problem, doesn't it? Oh boy. Well, as often happens with me, it's not as easy as you would think. We have individual wires. All you experts out there saw me do it and no one said a thing. Dang it. Well, it just means I'm going to have to make sure I connect each individual one. And to do that, I'm going to break out the soldering gun. All right, I have each individual wire separated and stripped. Let the soldering begin. Beautiful. That one was perfect, everybody. Beautiful. Boom, baby. And I think that that's going to be just great. All right. So instead of fang lights, I put them with the side lights. Those guys up there. Now, if everything worked like it should, I have now turned the power on. Now we should be able to turn the switch on and have lights out of the Suparees. Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so how are we going to mount it? So I went ahead and looked on Amazon. I found these Nightlight mounting brackets for the size I needed to fit this 2-inch bull bar. So these are the two pieces you get right here. And with that, you get different sized rubber inserts, which you lay on the inside of these so that you can have the best snug fit that's going to be as gentle as it possibly can to your bull bar. So I'm going to figure out which one that I'm going to go with, and then we'll get them mounted up, get the mounts lighted, get the lights mounted up, get it plugged in, and we're off to the races. So if all the rubber pieces are going to be too thick, they also give you a rubber strip, super thin but thick enough to still protect your bull bar from the teeth. They're in there. And I think that I'm gonna have to go with that smallest tape one, because I tried to use this one right here and there's just too big of a gap. I could cinch it down really good. We'll play it by ear. If I need to switch to the other ones, I can do that. But right now I think we are going to go with this. Rubbing alcohol. Tape off. started. Sorry, guys. It's not bad. Okay. We are coming around to home plate, everybody. Couple of eyes and a mouth. There you go. All right, well, let me get the wires ran through the back and over here and bundle up the wires and get them tucked away. And then the next thing that we'll do after that is it'll be dark and we will go out and I'll show you what we got. All right, one connected. Wrong side. Two connected. There you go. I'm going to put on some rubbing alcohol here. This has double-sided tape. This guy is home. Is going to be right there. All right, guys, so here we are. There's where it's installed. Doesn't look out of place, looks great. Everything works great. So we'll go out tonight and test them in the dark. Shoot out a long ways. Long ways. That's downhill. See if I can point them up just a little bit. Shoot them even further. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a long ways down there, guys, and I know this camera isn't doing it justice. They never do, but that's still long ways down. Let's turn them off. All the lights are off. What do we have on here? Okay, we still have the amber. No headlights whatsoever. Suparee Hyper5. Damn. Suparee off. Dim headlights on. Suparee on. Suparee off. Brights on. Suparee on. That's what you want. That is what you want, guys. Fantastic. They look damn good. Now, the big test is going to come with how does it stack up against my light bar, my aux beam 42-inch light bar. Let's find out. Suparee off, light bar on. That's pretty dang good. Does Suparee add anything to it? Let's see. It does a little bit. You're talking a 42-inch light bar. Light bar off. Suparee's still doing a great job. Light bar on. Great. Excellent. Okay. Next I want to put the amber covers on. Let's see what kind of light it puts out with that. Okay. So that one's on right. There we go. All right. Now let's see what we got. Not quite as bright, but still reaches out there quite a ways. You can still see past that telephone pole, which that telephone pole has got to be a good, I don't know, 200 yards, 150, 175, somewhere there. 175 to 200 yards. Very, very bright. Big hole to the right there, so you gotta keep to the left. Rabbits. That's with my rigid 20-inch light bar right next to the Suparees. Pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm glad they sent them to me to review. I'm happy with the lights. Install was fairly simple with the exception of running the control cord into the cab of the truck. Into the cab of the 4Runner. Without the rigid 20-inch light bar, with it, it's a great light bar. Very happy with it. I think the beam pattern shoots out a long ways. The way I have it tucked into within the bull bar, you don't really get the side LEDs very much. You don't get much use out of them. A little bit though. I mean, here. There you go. There you go. All right, there you have it. Well guys, that's going to do it for another video. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank Suparee for sending me these lights and trusting me to do a fair review. I feel that the pros on these lights, they have great beam throw. They don't disperse light in a huge distance, but for what I need them for, I need that distance throw. As you saw from the video, they performed very well on that. I love that they give you the amber lenses as well as the blackout lenses. I love the white and amber outer LED rings that they have. I think they look super cool. Cons, I would say that for Suparee, if you could make your lens covers a bit more robust. They do feel a little on the cheap side, like they could potentially fall off if you were in super rough terrain. So beef those up. One other con that I would have, as you saw, I had to cut the cord to run it through my firewall, and then I had to solder the wires back together. Not a big deal for me, but for some that might pose a problem if you don't have the skills to do that. I would suggest that if you had a plug on that wire to where you could unplug it, run it through a firewall, plug it back in, it would probably be a good thing to add as far as your wire harness goes. The wire harness is very well built. I have no complaints about that. And overall, I think that this is a very good product. I'm glad they sent it to me. So let me know what you think down in the comments. What did you think of the night footage when I took it out and demonstrated what they could do? I'd be really curious to see what y'all have to say about that. And with that, we'll see y'all next time out on the road.